Today I'm going to bake an apricot cake, and of course I will use some quark for the filling, and also the dough is a little bit different. It's made with some almond flour, so stay tuned and watch how I'm doing this. In my first step, I'm going to make the dough, and for that I will mix some flour, some almond flour, sugar, butter, what else? Eggs, of course, and a pinch of salt. I'll start using the flour, and then I add some of the almond flour, and the almond flour is without the skin of the almond, so it has to be a very white one, the kind of almond flour that you would use for macaroons. I add that and some sugar, pinch of salt, and some butter. And of course I was mistaken about the eggs. The eggs will come in later. So for the dough I just need these ingredients. And you probably noticed that I didn't use any baking powder. It's not necessary for this recipe. Okay, and as you can see, it has created a very nice and smooth dough. I'll knead it a little bit with my hands to make sure that everything is incorporated. So you see, this is a very nice and smooth dough. Now I wrap it in some cling wrap and put it in the fridge for 30 minutes. Okay, I gave this bowl a quick rinse so I can use it for my next step, which is the filling. The filling is made with quark. And if you're not familiar with quark yet, you should watch the other videos that I've made for quark, how to make quark. You can sometimes buy it here in America. It's not very common, but some grocery stores have it. It's a bit expensive. It's very easy and cheap to make quark yourself, but it takes a little bit of time. So I first add 500 grams, which is about 2 pounds of quark. And I'll add some apricot jam. I'll also add 4 eggs. Then some sugar, 50 grams, it's about, I would say, like 4 tablespoons. And some vanilla sugar. This is homemade vanilla sugar that you can find on my blog for the recipe. You could also use some vanilla extract. I'm not a big fan of vanilla extract. To me it's kind of tastes a little bitter. I don't like it too much, so I stick to my vanilla sugar. Yeah, basically that's what I need to put in here. And now I'm going to mix it. I will also add 3 tablespoons of starch, cornstarch. And some lemon zest. And also some lemon juice. Continue mixing. So this looks very nice. It's a little bit orange, I like that. And now I'm going to show you how I cut the apricots. So I first cut them in half. I remove the stone and I cut them in quarters. And next I cut them into eighths. And I've already done this with the rest of the apricots. They're already prepared. And all I have to do now is prepare the baking pan. So this is my baking pan. This is where I want to bake my cake. And the dough is still in the fridge. It needs another 20 minutes. And then I will continue this video. So here is the dough that has been resting in the fridge for quite some time, and I'm going to use 2/3 of this dough and roll it. So, looks right. I'll put some flour on my surface. A little bit on the rolling pin. I bought this rolling pin a while ago. I used to have one that was made from wood and I really liked it. After like 25-30 years it broke, unfortunately, and I bought this one, but I'm not too happy with it. I really regret that I didn't buy a wooden one again, so maybe I will have to switch in a while, because the dough here tends to stick on this rolling pin, even though I use some flour on it. You see it here? And that's a little bit annoying. Let's see. Yeah, it's almost go a little bit wider here. Yeah, super annoying. I don't like it, but I can fix it. So I will now transfer this as good as possible to the baking pan. If it breaks a little, it's not too bad. I can still fix it. You see, it probably wasn't long enough in the fridge. Never mind. But I can fix this. Alright. It's a little bit too much dough anyway for this small baking pan. And I have this little roller here. It sometimes falls apart. It was too many times in the dishwasher. But it's perfect to help me here smooth it out a little bit. To be perfect. and I will probably do a second cake with the dough since I have so much. I usually do it in a bigger baking pan, but I recently bought this one and I couldn't wait to try it. Kind of, I don't know, it looks kind of French to me. And I forgot to mention it. I, of course, greased the baking pan with some butter to make sure that I will get the cake out later without any problems. All right, so I think that looks good. And now I take my filling and add it up on the cake. Smooth it out a little bit. Maybe just a little more like this, and then I add the apricots. Last time I baked this cake, my apricots were not very sweet, so this time I choose some almost overripe apricots just to make sure that this time I have a sweet, juicy cake. And I do have enough dough to make 2 of these cakes. I only have 1 baking pan in this size though, so I have to wait until the first cake has been baked. I don't know. And then I will just make a second one. But I'm not finished here yet. I still have to add a little detail. So I'm rolling this again. Still sticky. And I'm cutting this. And can you see it here? No. Let me put this up here so you can see it. And then I put it onto the cake like this. Very careful. So this is how it's going into the oven.